How's it going, Felix? Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, Joel? How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Can you hear me?
All right. I like the what is it? Artwork in the back. It's a mural. What is it?
It's my art.
It's your art. All right. This is what you do on your time off, right?
Yeah.
Are those coconuts in the back?
Yeah. I'm at a Starbucks.
Oh, Starbucks.
Make it look fancy. Got my nice backdrop.
Oh, I see. Hey, Elijah, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? You can unmute me, or I can mute you. What's up, Elijah?
How you doing?
All right. I like the art in the back. What is this? What do you got?
They're movie posters.
Oh, the movie posters.
Yeah, I got some old school favorites. Old Desperado, Tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the one to your. I think it's to your left. Is that was it Mexico? Once upon a time.
Yeah. That's correct.
Awesome, man. Hi, Chrissy. How are you?
Hi, Alan. I'm good.
How's everything?
Good.
Are you excited for role play today?
Oh boy, am I?
Well, I think we're gonna start off with you and Joel.
Woo!
And then we're gonna finish up with Andrew as the buyer, pesky buyer, one of those. Chrissy, where are you? Okay. All right. So let's for the sake of new agents on the team, I think it's fair to say that we should have the senior agents like Brenda and Andrew do a quick role play, online lead role play that came in. We're going to do the older one, actually, the one that maybe registered 6, 7, 8 months ago. How about that?
All right.
Are we on board? And then we're going to have...
I'll be the buyer.
And then we're going to have the new agents do exactly the same thing. How about that?
You be the agent, Andrew. You're better at it.
No, I'll be the buyer. Don't worry. I got this.
It's okay. I was on mute and I said it first, so you didn't hear me.
Well, mute doesn't count. Get going.
Come on, Andrew.
All right, fine. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this Brenda?
Yes.
Brenda, this is Andrew from Valley Home Search. I saw that you had registered a few months ago at our website, and I was just following up to see how your home search is coming along.
Just browsing still. Not really ready yet.
Oh, I totally understand that. We have a lot of people that are just browsing. Hey, I wanted to check to make sure that we're sending you the right properties. Can we just go over what you're looking for in a house right now?
I'm not really sure yet. I don't know what I qualify for, and I'm just kind of looking at properties I like.
Okay, well, let's just start with that. What kind of properties do you like? Do you have a certain area of town that you're looking in?
I do like the Northwest Valley. So
Okay.
like North Glendale, North Peoria.
Okay, that's good. Is there any particular areas in, North Peoria, North Glendale that you prefer that maybe you work around or something?
I would say more like Pinnacle Peak, Happy Valley area.
Okay, that's a really nice area. Yeah, okay, I can look in there. Do you have are you looking for like a single family house or a condo? What's
Yes,
your
single family.
Okay, that's actually probably more of them in that area anyways. Is there a certain number of bedrooms that you need?
At least 3 bedroom.
At least 3 bedrooms. All right. How about, do you mind if it's a 1 or a 2-story house?
I would prefer single level, but I mean, I guess it depends. I'd be okay with the 2-story if it was, if it was a good property, if I liked it.
Okay. Are there any other features that you were looking for in a house?
I would like a pool.
Okay. You'd prefer a pool?
Yeah, just don't know if I can afford it though.
Okay. So
I
it's,
don't know if I can
that's a wish, then not a requirement then, right?
Right.
Okay.
And again, I don't know if I can even afford to live in that area, to be honest.
Okay. Well, so have you started speaking with a lender yet?
No, I haven't.
Did you want me to have a lender give you a call just so you can start you out on the process and let you know what programs you might qualify for, and let you know what kind of range you might be looking at?
Not really. I'm not really ready. I don't have money down. I think my credit's bad. I don't want to waste your time. I think I'll give it another year and see what happens.
Well, actually, this is probably the perfect time for you to talk to a lender. I mean, one, it could help. They could also talk to you about your credit. And if you need any ways to improve your credit, they can do what's called credit coaching and tell you what you should be doing to get your credit where it's optimal for buying a house. So whether you have high or low credits, it's good to find out where it is and how you might want to improve it if necessary. Also, they have programs like down payment assistance, so you could come in with little or no down payment, and that which really makes it kind of easy to get into a house. And the other big cost to getting into a house then be closing costs, and a lot of times we can negotiate the seller to pay all or part of your closing costs. So you might not be as far out as you think. So did you want me to have
requirements for the down payment assistance?
What was that again? Oh, the requirements? There's a whole bunch, but I only know a handful of them. And to make sure that you fit into it correctly, it's best that you speak to the lender, that he goes through all the requirements. I don't want to get your hopes up or dash your hopes by saying it wrong. So what do you say? I have a lender, his name's Joe Pang. He could give you a call. Would today work for you?
I would say probably the weekend would be better.
All right, call you on the weekend? Like this coming, Saturday?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, I'll have him call you on Saturday. Like the morning or afternoon work best?
I would say probably the afternoon.
Okay. So I'll have Joe give you a call. I'll give him a heads up, just talking about what you're looking at. Do you have a general idea of where your budget might be for a house?
No, I don't.
If you don't mind me asking, are you currently renting or do you currently own your house?
Yes, I rent.
Okay. Are you comfortable with what you're paying now in rent?
Yes, I am, but I know it's going to be a lot more once I purchase. So.
All right. Well, it's kind of a good idea to look at what you're paying in a rental and seeing if that'd be a comfortable mortgage area. So do you have a range based on what you currently pay and what you might be comfortable with as a monthly payment?
Yeah, I would say if I can keep it under 25 would be good.
Okay. That could work out. And I think with under 25, there are definitely homes in that area that you might, be able to qualify for. So, that's a pretty good amount to be looking at. So let me, I'll make sure that Joe calls you. How soon would you want to move into a house if you were qualified right now?
Well, I mean, if I can get into it with no money down and my credit's good, I mean, I'd be ready in the next couple months. I'm month to month right now.
Oh, perfect. That makes it really easy with your lender. Well, how about this? So I'll have Joe talk to you on Saturday. If you're free on Saturday, how would you like to meet at my office? I'm up in the North Glendale, I'm kind of on the border with Peoria area. How about we meet at my office on Saturday? We'll have Joe. I see if I can have him come in, or at least come in on a conference call, and we can all talk at once, see how you fit into the programs, how everything's going. I can talk to you about the home buying process and, talk about what I have to offer as a realtor, because as you might know, not all realtors are the same. And if there's still some time, maybe take a look at 1 or 2 properties just to give you an idea of what's out there.
I don't want to waste your time. I'd rather speak to the lender first and see if I even qualify. I mean, I'd hate to go in and I'm not ready yet for another year, and I just don't want to waste your time. So I'll meet with the lender first.
All right, I have no problem with that, but I'm always out here just to answer any questions, just to let you know what's going on. But I'll have Joe call you, and I'll follow up, probably with that Monday or Tuesday after. Would that be okay?
Sure. And you did mention that not all realtors are the same. Why is that?
Well, some realtors do this as a part-time business, and some people are full-time. I'm full-time, and I really care about my clients, and I work mostly with buyers, and I always want to make sure they get the best deal. And with my experience, I have I've worked with many clients that are using down payment assistance programs and also asking for seller concessions, so I know how to write the contracts that best benefit you. And we also have some other special incentives that we use at my office, but I could love to sit down and talk to you about that when you have time. And as I suggested Saturday, but we can, after you talk to the lender, we can talk again, follow up and see if you want to meet at that point. Okay.
Well, I mean, it sounds great, but I will mention that I had an agent before, and that agent was never available. So I think that's my biggest concern with working with an agent, is that when I want to look at a property, they're not available. Is that going to be a problem with you?
No, that's not a problem with me. I always try to make myself available. I also work on a team. And if I am too busy and caught up in something, and if there's a property that you really want to see, I can always call somebody else on my team and they can show you properties. I've done that several times before with people on my team, and I've covered for other people on my team. That's why one of the big reasons I work on a team, to really help out the clients, because we're here to serve you and make sure that you find the house that you want. Because as you might have noticed, that the best houses are only on the market for a few days, so you have to go see them right away.
Right. Okay, sounds good.
All right. So I'll have Joe give you a call. Is there a better time on Saturday for him to actually reach you? Just want to make sure that you don't play any phone tag if necessary.
Yeah, I told you afternoon would be good.
Just any time in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. And let me just verify your email. I have you at brenda@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me right now?
No, I don't. I appreciate your time.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch, and I'll follow up probably on Monday after you speak with Joe, just to see how things went, and see if you want to maybe meet then. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Great job, guys. Excellent. Very good.
I had to give him a hard time.
You gave him a little hard time.
Good job, Andrew. Good job.
Yeah, you gave him a little hard time. I think that was pretty real. I mean, that's usually what you're going to be able to get, when you're speaking to someone who is not, 100% committed to this yet at this point. Like you said, Brenda, you're 12 months away or so? Andrew, did you by any chance ask her what has to happen between now and 12 months? I missed
money.
What was it?
It was money. She wanted to save money.
Okay, and we
did
did
money for the down payment. She needed money for the down payment and stuff.
Okay, all right.
That's why I went into down payment assistance.
Down payment assistance program. Okay.
I know what I failed to get was her real motivation for wanting to move.
Okay.
That's the kind of kicking myself, but she, I know she wants to move. She can do something. That was her deal.
Brenda, were you a renter or you actually owned the property?
I was a renter.
Month-to-month renter.
Month to month.
So she's ready to do something pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming her motivation is that she's probably tired of renting.
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Okay. Any feedback from the new agents, Chrissy, Joel, Elijah? Anything you guys want to add?
That was super, super smooth. I'm crazy intimidated right now.
You crazy intimidated right now? Okay. Well, keep in mind, Andrew's been doing this for quite some time. So you should have heard him like about 2.5 years ago. There was a lot of so there was a lot of challenges with Andrew.
That was never me. Stop lying. I was perfect from day one.
Right. But he's getting better. He's getting there.
I still have faults. I forgot motivation. And I know it as soon as I got done with it.
And honestly, I think you could have still get her to meet with you.
I didn't want to push her because I want to keep that relationship going.
Right. I mean, I think her response to you was like, you know, I don't want to waste your time. And I think you said, well, you know, I'm not quite sure exactly what you said, but you know what? In fact, you're not wasting my time. This is my job. I want to make sure I sit down with you and walk you through the process of buying your next home and show you what we can do for you differently.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought about pushing her, but I was like, no, I'm not going to push her. If she wants to talk to the lender, because no matter what happens with the lender, I have another opportunity to follow up. Even if the lender says no, her credit sucks, she's a year out, I can still sit down and talk to her and like, hey, well, hey, you've talked to the lender, you know your process is now. Let's still meet. You know, it's at my office. I can go over some stuff with you. I can still. It's another good reason to call. Is what I.
All right. So let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but let's say, for example, she agreed to speak to the lender. What's your next step?
Instantly, I email the lender. I type in my notes. I email the lender, and if I don't hear, usually the lender sends me an email back within an hour saying, "Hey, yeah, I'll follow up." Otherwise, I'll text or call the lender because I usually have another reason to call, anyways. I'll follow up, let him know, and then on, Saturday, if I don't get a response, I usually will text or call the lender. Hey, did you talk to so and so? No, if they go, oh, we played phone tag. I told her, Brenda, I'd be calling her on Monday. I'd follow up on Monday, and if she didn't talk to the lender or if she got bad news from the lender, I would still, push for another meeting just to get her comfortable with things again.
Okay. So as far as the lender goes, now, do you do a warm, some sort of a handoff where, let's say when you send an email to a lender, you CC Brenda and introduce the lender, in this case, Joe, to Brenda in the email?
No, I haven't done that. I should. That'd be a good idea. I usually just inform the lender who she is. It's kind of I don't want to always put all the notes and CC the client with everything I'm telling the lender, even though she knows I'm saying it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't mind saying, hey, here's the lender, here's Joe. He'll be calling you on Saturday afternoon, but I should do that. That's a good idea.
Okay, and do you think it would be more helpful maybe to call their lender right there on the spot while you have Brenda on the phone? And maybe do like a three-way?
I would. I usually try touting that, hey, we use the lenders that we use is because they're really responsive. And then a lot of times that's a line that I use. And then if I say, hey, let's put them on the line three-way right now, and I call them up and they aren't responsive, I look like an idiot. And also sometimes when I talk to people, I know they're at work and they don't want to talk about personal things about finances at work. So I generally avoid doing that. I don't mind doing three-ways at meetings. But
you could try that though. So, let me try if I can get maybe a lender on the phone right now for you. I cannot guarantee it. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let me at least try to get the lender on the phone.
I could. I usually wait, until they're at a comfortable place to talk. I mean, honestly, because people freak out a lot of times about talking about too much personal information over somebody they've never met or heard of before. So at least if you give them a little bit of time.
It doesn't really have to be that personal. I think maybe if the lender just introduces himself or herself to Brenda, right, and briefly talks about the services they provide, maybe briefly talks about the down payment assistance program, and then cements and confirms the next phone call, which is on Saturday afternoon. How about that?
I could try it, but I've honestly had really poor luck calling lenders lately. I get calls back pretty regularly. I don't get a lot of, but even just when I call randomly, I get a lot of voicemails.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the off the record in terms of what we can do with the lender that we're actually getting on board right now. They do have a hotline phone number where it goes to a specific person. And if that person is not available, it will then be routed to 2 or 3 other people within the team, within the company. Okay. So according to the lender, someone will answer that phone. So I want to start testing that out. Okay. Testing them out and see if it actually is happening. Because I think that here's the way I see it. If you're having a good conversation with the lead, right, and you're developing that connection with them, right, and you have that momentum going, right, and they're like on the phone with you for 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, like Brenda was, why not take the step further and actually have the lender be involved on that call? By the way, you can get off the call. You don't have to be listening, right? And then have the lender actually get them pre-qualified, or at least make an introduction and then confirm the phone call or a meeting with the lender on Saturday. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, right, let's say, for instance, you're calling this lead, right? They never spoke to you before. Yes, you had a good conversation with them. But do you really think they're going to take this Saturday afternoon appointment with the lender seriously without knowing really that much about you, without really knowing that much about your lender, without really actually meeting you or anything like that? Do you think they're going to be sitting there by the phone and waiting for the lender to call them?
No, I honestly don't.
So why not go an extra step?
Yeah, I agree.
You see? I think that if you guys have these opportunities, and I know you have these opportunities with the buyers where you have good conversations with them, and the next step is to get them talking to the lender, try to call the lender right there on the spot and see if you can do a warm intro, maybe something where the lender can introduce themselves and then confirm and set up the next meeting. Okay. Any questions, guys?
You know what? I just wanted to say, probably with the renting, given that she was a renter, like you said, you kind of touched on it, you want to get more of that motivation, but I think being more personable, it seemed like a really business forward conversation, which it's serious business, purchasing a home. But being that she was a renter, I don't know if she was like on a lease or a month to month or anything like that. And then just kind of breaking the ice with her, because she seemed real like stiff, like, oh, let's just talk about this, as opposed to make me laugh or what do I do for my work or.
Calling Brenda stiff? I don't understand. Why are you Brenda stiff?
Yeah, she seemed a little serious on the phone, but some of those buyers are going to be like that when they're just a little too serious, and you want to break that ice.
Hey, you calling them, they don't know you, they never heard about you before. You calling them and you're asking them things about their personal finances. I get it. You're absolutely right. You got to break that ice, right? So how do we do that?
Well, I normally try to make it something like personable. Like usually a good thing for me is saying, oh, so why did you choose that area? Do you work close to the area? And usually they say, oh yeah, it's closer or whatever. And then from there I kind of go into, oh, so what do you do for work? And then once you do that, you can really just go anywhere with that. I mean, they tell you, oh yeah, I once did that. And then you start sharing a same experience, quick story or whatever. And then it just kind of connects from there. And then you feel a little bit softer, and then, go from family and all that good jazz and how long they've been in the valley or whatnot. But that's where I usually go with that. Other than that, that was really a big thing. Obviously, Andrew, you're seasoned. So to the new agents, yeah, it should be intimidating. You won't be like that on your first few calls. But Andrew, the transition was good, which is something I want to tell the new agents about. When you get on the first time, you're going to have so much in your head that you want to spit out, but you won't be able to. It's just natural for everybody that's new. But his good transition was right there at the beginning. Brenda obviously was like, oh, didn't really want to talk, kind of, hey, I don't really know what I can go for. I'm not qualified. None of that, right? So like right there, a lot of new agents probably won't even pursue it. They're like, oh, okay, talk to you later, right? And then he said, oh, no, we can start right there. That's fine. What area were you thinking? What are you looking for? Like whatever you don't have is not a reason to get off the phone. She doesn't know what she's qualified for, whatever. Not a reason to get off the phone. We're going to start building that relationship. So I thought that was good, Andrew, because for new agents, that little transition, it's small to you because you've been doing it for so long. But for the new agents, that not letting them get off the phone in the first 10 to 15 seconds is the first success. And then you can just continue to keep that conversation rolling as long as you possibly can. Hopefully get an effective one.
That's what Brenda was trying to do to me. She intentionally was doing the just browsing. Oh, I have no reason to talk to you. I have no money. That's
keep it real. That's how it is, though.
Yeah, it is. But that's what I knew. That's what she was doing to me, and that's probably our most common objection when you call.
And that's where, like Elijah was saying, you gotta be more personable, and you gotta actually kind of relate to them or share a story with them, right? So what you want to do is you want to empathize. You want to say, hey, you know what, I completely understand. And then being in agreement with them, saying, you know, your situation is like unique. I work with a lot of other people that are rented, and then we end up finding them a home with the down payment assistance program. And let me share a story with you. I helped this couple. They were renting for 3 years. The rent was $1,500 a month. They ended up buying a $270,000 house without putting any money down. And in fact, on top of it, we had the seller who paid their closing costs. So their out-of-pocket expenses was home inspection $400 and appraisal $500. So it was less than $1,000. They were able to get into a $270,000. So by sharing that story with them, now it's relatable to them. They're like, oh, this guy can actually help me out as well.
I was thinking, I have a couple stories that I've helped people do that. I had one where he technically only got in for his inspection money. He even had the appraisal paid for. I mean, I've had several that I can use as an example. I just figured I wasn't going to do that because as new agents, you guys don't have that story. You can say our team has helped and has done this, but I didn't want to overload and intimidate you guys. Like, we don't have the experience. We can't say that. But that's why I intentionally left that story out.
So Andrew, can you say we instead of our team?
Yeah, you can say, hey, yeah, we've done that several times. But I don't find there's any reason not to say team. I think a team is a good thing, especially like when Brenda brought it up about, you know, I had an agent and they just never had time for me. Have a team. I've actually had an agent show a property when I was out of town, and the client called me, hey, they love the property. We wrote the offer, but another agent on the team showed the property for me. That was great. That's why we have a team.
I think for you, Andrew, the only thing was, again, going back to the more personal part of it. I think a little bit more about what I'm looking for, get me motivated to want to look at properties and want to buy. Just because I don't know what I can afford or if I can buy now, what do I want? What would I like in a home when I'm ready? And then find out a little more information. Okay, are you married? What is your husband looking for? Oh, you have kids, you know, like get more personable, I think would help. And I probably would have met you if you got a little bit more personable.
Yeah, I know it's always my fault. I don't like going personal.
I know. Gotta let loose a little bit.
Better loosen up a little bit, Andrew. Where's your beer mug? Maybe we should start drinking.
There you go.
I'm all set. It's empty though.
That's right. You gotta pour some stuff in there. Okay.
So I talked to a lady this morning, and her objection. So I called and I said, hey, you know, this is Chrissy from valleyhomesearch.com. I was just calling to see if you were still in the market to buy a house. I see you registered a couple months ago. And she's like, I didn't register for your site. I have no idea myself. And so we kind of started talking, and she said, you know, I still am in the market to buy, but I have a realtor. And I said, oh, are you actually committed to working with that person? Have you signed with them? And she said, no, it's family. You know, I'm really committed to using this family member. And I said, oh, you know, I completely understand. I'm trying to work with a lot of family myself. You know, but before I let you go, is there anything I can do for you? And she said, no. Is there a way to overcome the whole I want to work with family thing? Because I tried, but she was not having it.
It's, I don't know, Brenda, Andrew, what do you think?
You can ask, and, you know, if you can try, say, just so you know, not every agent's the same. We all do things differently, and you can talk about being a full-time agent. But honestly, if it's family, either they hate them or love them. And even if they say they don't like them, they work with you, and then they could switch at the last minute and use their family member. You're playing with fire if it's family. If they don't instantly want to start talking to you about being their agent, they're probably never going to.
Yeah, and I usually tell them, I get it. I would work with my family as well. But, you know, things go wrong, and sometimes you need that little separation. And I'll send you my information on an email. If it doesn't work out, I'd be more than glad to help you. If your family member is not available, or you see there's issues available, you can always give me a call. And then I still check in. I'll keep them in there. and I'll check in like a week or two later, and then just send them a quick text like, oh hey, how's it going? How's the search? And if they respond, great. If they don't, then they're probably going to use that family member. But really, not much you can do about that.
No, it was a real short conversation, but it was like, talk to me.
Yeah, but you know what? All you can say is like, well, hey, I see you're still using the website. This is your, I just want to make sure the search is set up correct for you. Make sure you're seeing the type of properties you want to. Even if you don't use me as your agent, I still want to make sure you see what's out there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Always leave a positive feeling with them.
Yeah.
Right, and like Brenda said, you know what? You never know what can happen. Still schedule a follow-up with them. Even with the family members, things go awry, things go bad. And not every agent is, again, created equal. You never know about these situations. Like for instance, I think I shared with you guys yesterday with Joel and Chrissy, the property on 52nd Avenue that we're listing, right? They were going on a market. She has a niece who's a real estate agent. And she lives in the area, but she decided to go with us because she felt more comfortable with our abilities to sell her home and get her at top dollar. So, like Andrew said, help them customize their search, provide value to them, and schedule follow-up and see where it takes you. That's it. And things happen. You never know.
I always just intentionally leave it with as a positive experience. So if there's ever any doubt, they want to call you.
Yep, you got that right. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Joel, I know we got Felix there. I see Felix's steering wheel. I see Sean. Hey, Sean, any questions? What's going on, buddy? No? You're good? Okay, awesome, very good. Elijah, anything you want to add? Questions?
With the last thing that you guys were just talking about, being family, chances are, like they're saying, you're probably not going to get it, but I go based off their how adamant they are when they're talking to you about it. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, they sound like they're really not going to give me a chance. Like you said, be polite, fine, use our system, whatever. But then sometimes it's a little bit, maybe they may or may not. So my thing is always kind of being like, hey, look, I understand you have someone in mind. I'm going to go ahead and follow up with you in a couple weeks, depending where they are at and as far as purchasing goes, if they're a month out or whatever. And I just follow up because, like you were saying, Alan, something may happen where maybe they're just frustrated. Like, look, maybe it is my cousin, but I'm getting tired of them. They're kind of taking their time. Maybe I will use you, and you might just sneak that in like that. I had the lady that I had an appointment with 2 weeks ago. It's her best friend that was her agent. And she goes, yeah, I'll come and meet with you. And she ended up meeting with me. And unfortunately, her pre-approval didn't go through. But the whole thing was she showed up because she goes, well, my friend's my friend. But I think she could, because she thinks she's my friend, she can push me off and not put me first over her other clients. So she was taking 2 weeks to get back to her and whatnot. And so now we still have a relationship. And hopefully, things go well with her pre-approval. We can get her something in the future. But that was something I didn't see coming. And I felt pretty good about that. But yeah, I mean, that's like they say, it's really, you just have to gauge it right then and there. I think more times than not, you're not going to get those ones.
Yeah, something real quick with the family thing. I don't know if you guys used it, but maybe letting them know, like, hey, just so you know, I do work with the team. We got a lot of resources. I just kind of want to throw that out there, instead of just, I don't know if your family member is just, working solo, but I do work with the team. And at our office, we have a lot of resources that we can help, whatever, find that house or find a buyer, whatever, whichever way you're going, something like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like we talked about it last week, you can provide much more value than just, again, going in MLS and looking for the active listings. And if they are struggling finding a home, if they're getting priced out, if they've been looking for quite some time and they're not really getting anywhere, I mean, that's something you definitely want to mention, part of the discussion, that, hey, you know what, we can go outside of the box for you guys and we can find you a home in so many different other ways, so that's something that you definitely want to present. At the end, most likely they're going to stick with their family. It is what it is, but at least you try. Okay. All right, guys. Well, any other questions? Well, listen, thank you so much for joining and participating. It was a really good role play session. Thank you so much, Andrew, Brenda, Elijah, Chrissy, Joel, Sean, and then I think Felix was still there. Yep, Felix. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day, okay?
We aren't hearing the new agents do a role play?
You know what? We're out of time, but guess what? Next week on Monday, that's going to be the case. All right. Look at his face.
I was trying to drive the bus.
We're out of time, guys. Let's make some calls and make some money. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.